Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended.
Angel Reese, the player who thought she could take the WNBA by storm with her brash persona, has now found herself suspended after a series of shocking meltdowns on the court.
WNBA All-Star Game sees ratings drop without Caitlin Clark, and it's ugly. It's real ugly. Who is it?
After launching her own line of shoes and screaming, "I'm in your city," she believed she was the queen of the WNBA. But without Caitlin Clark on the court to compete against, Reese's staged hype and marketing campaigns fell flat. Ratings plummeted, and what once looked like a rising star now appears as a sad attempt to create hype where none truly existed.
At the end of the day, she don't do those type of things. Yes. You hear me? Don't put that with her name at the end of the day. If you be in a trap, that's your business. You hear me? Whatever the case may be, that ain't nothing to be proud of.
Angel Reese's partnership with Reebok was heralded as a new era for the brand. Yet as soon as the Angel Reese 1 hit the market, it became clear that this was an attempt to force something that wasn't ready. The shoe itself, 2 colorways, Diamond Dust and My Bounds, looked good on paper, but fell short in execution. In a brand-building effort that should have seen a smooth launch, Reebok got everything wrong: timing, tone, and target market.
So the WNBA's All-Star Game went down 36%. That is a lot. That's more than a third from last year. Last year was over 3.4 million people.
The idea of building an entire campaign around Reese when she was never going to be the main attraction was flawed from the start. Reebok's strategy was built around the idea that if they just threw enough money into billboards and Instagram ads, the fans would follow. But the reality is, fans didn't care about the shoes. They cared about the game. They cared about Caitlin Clark. Reese's attempts to position herself as the center of attention only highlighted the stark contrast between her and Clark's genuine star power.
Dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
What we saw was an attempt to build an empire on borrowed credibility. It wasn't organic, it was artificial. And when the key figurehead, Caitlin Clark, wasn't even there to validate the entire marketing circus, the whole thing collapsed like a house of cards. It's easy to forget, but this was a multi-million-dollar campaign that went down in flames because it lacked the one thing that truly makes a star: authenticity.
Angel Me Bound Prayer Reese. You only relevant because you keep bringing up my precious CC. You want to pull up with your billboard Reebok ad in Indiana talking about.
When you look at the play on the court, the difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is undeniable. While Clark is known for her precision, her leadership, and her ability to take over games, Reese's play is riddled with flaws that she can't seem to shake off.
Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA and all their pay us what you owe us action.
What's up, y'all? I just want to talk about this chick, Angel Reese, for a second. She has been all over my timeline, over my Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok. She's always pushing people and this and that. She's always in controversy. So let me address this situation real quick. How is she a professional athlete?
It's not just about scoring, it's about the mental game. The ability to impact the match even when you're not scoring. Reese might score a few points here and there, but it's how she plays the game, or rather how she doesn't, that separates her from the top-tier players. The dominance she claims to have on the court is an illusion. A highlight reel filled with turnovers, fouls, and missed opportunities doesn't tell the story of a player who controls the game. Instead, it tells the story of someone who's desperately trying to fill a void that's too big for them to manage.
Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying?
You can have all the billboards, Instagram reels, and flashy shoes in the world, but if you can't handle the pressure of a real game, it's all meaningless.
Here, everyone with credit card debt is lining up to get the Angel Reese signature shoe. Here, it gives you the power of the Me-Bound. Bang! Again! Burn! Will she save it? No! What everyone's paid to see, the Angel Reese rebound!
The truth is that Reese's dominance is a product of hype, not ability. And as long as she continues to chase the limelight without the skills to back it up, she will remain a footnote in the history of the league. The WNBA and Reebok's attempts to manipulate public perception by casting Reese as a new face of the league highlight the dangers of overhyping someone who hasn't earned it on the court. Marketing is about perception, but it can only go so far when it doesn't align with reality.
Unable to move her opponent out of the way, Aneka Ogumike retaliates, grabs her by the hips, throws her to the floor, stands over her, screams on her, flips her the double bird. Quinterly, Dallas Wings teammate, being a good teammate.
Reese's marketing campaign wasn't just about selling shoes, it was about selling an image. But when that image didn't match her performance, the truth became apparent. At first, the campaign worked to an extent. Reese became a trending topic on social media, and her shoes were being sold. But as the games went on, and the flaws in her performance became harder to ignore, the public's opinion started to shift. People don't buy into the image when the product doesn't live up to expectations. Fans started to see through the facade. Reese's personal brand had become a house of cards waiting to collapse.
Would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the texts are warranted. They are all warranted.
But what makes this even worse is that the WNBA and Reebok kept trying to paint Reese as the new face of the league. This wasn't a natural rise to the top. This was a forced narrative, an attempt to crown a player before they'd even earned the crown, and it failed. The more they pushed, the more the public recoiled. The backlash was inevitable.
They are all warranted.
This is the lowest of the low. Disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap.
While Angel Reese's marketing campaign tried to make her a household name, it was Caitlin Clark who remained the star of the WNBA. Clark's presence on the court and off it has had an undeniable impact on the league. She's not just a great player, she's a phenomenon. And that's the difference between a true star and someone who's simply hoping to be one.
How in the world is this chick a professional athlete? She is, out of all the clips that I've seen, she is the worst basketball player I've ever seen.
Clark doesn't need billboards or social media campaigns to prove her worth. She does it with her performances. Every game she plays is an advertisement for her talent. Fans flock to see her play because they know they're about to witness something special. That's the difference between being a marketable name and actually being a player who moves the needle. Clark isn't selling a product, she's selling her game.
You hear me? And she has a $28 million Nike deal.
Let's talk about her deals, which aren't built on a marketing gimmick, but on pure, undeniable talent. Her $28 million Nike deal is a result of her consistent dominance on the court, her ability to shatter records, and her natural charisma that has captured the attention of fans worldwide. It's not a fluke, it's earned. The demand for her is real, and the numbers prove it. When Clark's signature shoes dropped, they sold out in seconds. That's what real demand looks like. It's not manufactured, it's organic. And when you compare that to Reese, you can see why there's such a stark contrast. The WNBA and Reebok can throw all the marketing dollars they want at Reese, but without the performances to back it up, the public isn't buying it. No amount of hype or branding can replace what Clark brings to the table. The bottom line is simple. Angel Reese can try to sell herself through campaigns and slogans, but at the end of the day, it's her performance on the court that matters. You can't manufacture star power. You either have it or you don't, and right now, Reese doesn't.
At the end of the day, she might know what a rat trap or mouse trap is, okay? But anything else other than that, please do not. No, we not gonna do it.
This isn't to say she can't improve. It's not to say she won't get better in the future. But right now, Reese is a product of forced hype. She's a marketing campaign without the substance to back it up. And that's something that fans aren't willing to ignore. At some point, the performance has to match the marketing, or the hype will fizzle out. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is proof that when you focus on the game and let your talent speak for itself, everything else falls into place. Reese might be the face of a marketing campaign, but Clark is the face of the league. And until Reese can consistently prove herself on the court, she'll remain a footnote in the WNBA's history, while Clark will continue to define what it means to be a true star. The numbers don't lie, and in Angel Reese's case, the numbers are a loud and clear message. We're not just talking about subjective opinions, we're talking cold hard facts that anyone with a basic understanding of sports can decode. A 36% drop in viewership, a 48% drop in ticket prices, 7 technical fouls in a single season. Those aren't minor details, those are glaring signs that the hype machine has failed.
Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You called her garbage.
compared to Caitlin Clark?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much.
When you compare the statistics of the 2025 All-Star Game with the previous year, the numbers paint a clear picture. Viewership fell drastically when Caitlin Clark wasn't there. And while the WNBA tried to spin this as a victory, the reality is that the absence of Clark exposed how reliant the league was on her presence. Fans are not fooled by empty marketing tactics. They want to see the stars play, and without Clark, Reese's presence just wasn't enough to hold their attention. Reese and Clark aren't just competing for titles on the court, they're competing for the fans' attention. In today's sports landscape, fan engagement is crucial for building a brand. But what Reese seems to forget is that hype alone isn't enough to keep fans engaged. It's authenticity that holds their attention. And authenticity is something that Clark has in spades. Fans don't just follow Clark because of her endorsement deals or her flashy shoes. They follow her because she's earned their respect. Her performances on the court have solidified her as a legitimate superstar. That's why she can command such massive deals. Reese, on the other hand, is still trying to manufacture that respect through marketing gimmicks. She's trying to force herself into the spotlight when her play on the court doesn't warrant it. It's not about the shoes, the billboards, or the flashy campaigns. It's about what you do when the lights are on and the game is on the line. And right now, Reese isn't delivering.